everyone, this is a video about design for your fact sheets. First of all, I want to say none of us are graphic designers, so I don't expect some amazing design. I don't expect you to spend more time on the design than the content. I definitely expect you to spend more time on the content. However, the design has to be readable, presentable. It has to be well done for the fact sheet to read well. So you have to consider design, and design will be a part of your grade, but it's not the heaviest part of your grade by any means. Okay, and so what I've done is provided you with some templates and some examples of fact sheets so you can get the idea of a design. Now you can look at examples and design your own if you're really good at using PowerPoint or Word or Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop if you want to get fancy. Illustrator's, no, InDesign is the actual graphic design software. But it doesn't need to be that complicated. You can use PowerPoint because you can change the size of your slide to be an 8.5 by 11 page, and you can, on each slide, you can place text boxes and graphics. It's really easy in PowerPoint. So you're welcome to use that, but you can use anything you want, anything you're most familiar with, okay? Just make sure they're 8.5 by 11 pages, and there are 3 of them, okay, for your actual fact sheet. Then, of course, the references is the last page. All right, here you're looking at the Blackboard site, and I've given you a bunch of examples. I'm just going to show you a couple of these. I've already clicked on them. I'm just going to open them on the video. But you can do a Google search on, for example, a sustainability fact sheet or a fact sheet template, and you're going to get a ton of stuff back that you could try to do on your own. In the meantime, I'm going to just show you a few examples. The fact sheet on flooding, the first one listed. This is a really basic one that has some colors, some maps, some images, and then they use a little bit of color to make things stand out. They use some very basic font design with some bold font to make kind of the headings stand out. See how the heading doesn't even have to be above the text? That's a neat way to do it. And then they have these little did you know kind of sections on the page. Very basic, very straightforward. They have some chronological things here which isn't necessarily applicable to you, but it's an idea. And then they have this column on the side in a different color, and another did you know, and they stayed consistent, and they had another picture. So that's one example. Another example is this. It's the second one on the list. It's about sustainability. It's actually a fact sheet designed by a corporation trying to get you to buy their product, but it's still kind of neat how they use this question-answer format, which is yet another design choice you could do. And they use bullet points and font emphasis like bolding and color. It's pretty text-heavy. You would definitely need to balance that with some images or maps or graphs, but it gives you some ideas of how to use color boxes to make something stand out and be different than the rest of the text. There's another color box. The question answer format is kind of neat. You could certainly do that if it works for your fact sheet. And then they have some graphs. Oops, that pops up every time. So that's another example. Some of it's applicable. It's a little too text heavy, I think. You need some images to balance it out for that example. This is another example. It's actually a job advertisement because they were looking to hire people to design fact sheets. The job opportunity is over, but this is a very basic looking format where you could easily create these color boxes in PowerPoint. Pretty sure they use PowerPoint to make this. It looks exactly like the PowerPoint design. And you see how they have headings, they have their title, so all these things. Don't pay attention to the writing guidelines. It has nothing to do with our project. It's just, I use this as an example to show you how they put an image on here, and they're using colored text boxes, etc. They even have like a little graphic that they created. Those are all ideas for you. Okay, so those are some examples of fact sheets. There are a lot more where that came from. You can see I have a ton of them listed here. Then I also have some templates for the fact sheets that I've created or provided for you. This is a website. Let's see, I have it open. It's just a Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office template website. They're all free. Newsletters seem to be the best fit, but you could go through here. Maybe a flyer or something would be also a good fit. I don't know if all of these are the perfect design, but you certainly could go through here, use one, you could modify it, etc. There's quite a few in there. There's also, whoops, that's not what I wanted to show you. I also created a PowerPoint template. This is the file, this is what it looks like, and I've created several pages with different design where you could just replace, these are text boxes, you could change the colors, you could change anything. I just created it to give you some ideas of some design using PowerPoint, and I've created these different text boxes and labeled some of them graphic because you might put a graphic there, and I've just created 4 different pages of different designs. So that's another thing you could use if you wanted to. And then, let's see, where is it? This was a template I downloaded. I don't remember where I downloaded this from, but it's provided on Blackboard, the file, and you can see this one is really creative because it uses a lot of pictures. You won't use pictures like this one. You want to stick with graphics that are informational, like bar graphs or an image that's really pointed towards your project. Like somebody chose Alaska as their topic, culture and environment of Alaska. Maybe you would show a picture of a particular population group that live, like the Inuit that live in Alaska, right? So you could do different things, but this kind of a generic picture has no use. And your picture should have captions, or next to it in the text it should talk about your image. You don't need both a caption and in the text talk about it like you do in research papers. It's either or. You either have a caption or you talk about the image in the text of your fact sheet. So this is just an example of how you could format things. Okay, and so that was the PowerPoint, and that was the Word template from the web, the first one. And there's 2 others. So those are the templates. Again, design is important, but we're not graphic designers. This isn't going to be the perfect fact sheet that you could produce and actually hand out. Most likely. Maybe you'll do an amazing job and we could actually use it for a project and do some other things with it. For example, every spring on campus there's a student research and creative activity show. Maybe you want to showcase your fact sheet and how to use fact sheets. If there's something like that, you want to go further with your fact sheet, you could meet with me in the fall and we could discuss possibilities. Most likely, if you're not a geography or environmental sustainability major, you probably don't want to move forward with it, but maybe some of you do. Okay, so that's it for the design video.